I'm Will Finn.
And we are folk musicians, and we sing and play lots of lovely music, and we arrange a lot of music ourselves and write some music, but not loads. So what we are doing today is having a little chat about some of the other music in the world that inspires us and the kinds of things that we enjoy. So it'll be some folk music, but then some not folk music, like other kinds of music, because there's inspiration to be found everywhere, and we love lots of different kinds of music. So yeah, that's the plan for today. So we thought we'd do a little listening party with you today. So we've got 2 songs each.
Mm-hmm.
Will, what is your first song?
Yeah, okay, so the first song I want to talk about is a song from an artist I only discovered kind of recently-ish, last few months, called Lisa LeBlanc, who is from French-speaking Canada, I believe. But I was introduced to her album. She has quite a few things. Her more recent album is one called Chiac Disco, which disco is a genre that you and I both absolutely love.
Absolutely love disco.
Love disco.
Unironically, it's so great.
Absolutely. It's absolutely fantastic music. As it was explained to me, the title is, there's disco, but also Chiac is a dialect.
Yeah.
It's a dialect of French Canadian, which is kind of more rural. So it's kind of, it is French Canadian, but it's got like a lot of kind of loan words and a lot of kind of like adaptations, and it's quite a kind of like, almost like kind of, not trying to speak pejoratively, but like redneck kind of almost like
totally.
Style to it.
Or a little bit like, when you get into the sort of far rural places of any country, I'm just sort of thinking West Country, or like the Northumbrian accent is like very distinct and has a lot of its own
absolutely
words.
Deep Somerset, deep kind of rural areas that get very much their own sort of vernaculars and styles of speaking. So apparently Chiac is like a version of that. So like Chiac Disco is her album. And it's the first track from that album I heard, which is called Gossip. And I don't speak French or French Canadian or Chiac for that matter. But like the lyrics that I pick up and the ones that I understand and kind of the translations that I've read online, I think that Lisa LeBlanc is quite known for writing songs about really quite kind of like everyday down-to-earth topics that I think as a result are quite relatable. So Gossip is about going down to Tim Hortons to drink a coffee and order some Timbits and just share the gossip with all the people who come in, and did you hear so-and-so is with so-and-so, and donuts and gossip. It's absolutely fantastic. So one of the things that I especially like about it as well, which I think I'd suggest kind of listening out for as well, is the drums. I think that the drumming in this is especially good, because I think with a lot of disco and funk, the rhythm section is absolutely vital. Yeah. So I really like the kind of the offbeat syncopate. It's not just a standard keeping time measure. Like, it's very much treated as an instrument in its own right. Anyway, so this is Gossip by Lisa LeBlanc. I might say some sort of things that I enjoy about it as it goes. Like, right off the bat, like, those drums are excellent, and the bass.
But drive through to market la gossip.
Yeah, going to Tim Hortons for a double coffee, I think, and 3 Timbits. Like, it's and some gossip.
Gossip. Les matins quand je les pas rouvre. Gossip. Met me bell hard from the drive. Gossip.
It's so catchy.
Yeah. Rain or shine, top ship malade. Gossip. Gossip. Ça va la lune.
So disco.
Ça va la lune. Ça va la lune. Tu t'es vu la lune. Tu t'es vu la lune. Ouais, Sainte-Bénite, on arrête de vue. Ouais, mais ça se peut-tu. As-tu vu ci? As-tu vu ça? Savais-tu pour ci? Savais-tu pour ça?
about the drums in particular, because in kind of like the chorus refrain bit, it like picks up and gets to this kind of like double time sort of thing, and then it sort of relaxes right back down back to the verse.
And because it's off that beat, it's like bah, like just off the. It's A thing I really like as well, that I think disco music does well, but a lot of other music also does well, is its use of riffs.
Yeah, totally.
You've got those stabs,
Yeah.
you know, things like that. It's really good. And then those building bits as well.
Really fun slap bass going on in disco as well. That's one of my other favourite things about it.
I hope the bass is coming through alright, because the bass is excellent. And then this breakdown, it's fantastic.
Let's just shush for a second and listen to it.
It's almost a little bit Ghostbusters. Like the layering in guitars, it builds beautifully. There's about to be some brass stabs that are excellent. They're just an absolute smoking sax solo.
Filthy sax solo.
Also, I have so much respect for a song that ends with a vibra slap.
Yes! Oh my god, the best.
Yeah.
A general beef that I have with a lot of disco music is that so much of it, because it's so reliant on like groove and it kind of sets up this rhythm and it's kind of relentless and it keeps going, they never know how to finish them and they always fade out, which I regard as like the coward's way out of a song. But like, you know, songs that really know how to end properly, even if it's with a vibra slap. I mean, I love a vibra slap. Like,
excellent.
It's great.
So, Gossip by Lisa LeBlanc from her album Chiac Disco. I recommend the whole album.
Yeah,
the whole album
is really exceptional.
Is phenomenal. It's all very, very good.
I think there's also something really interesting that we can kind of take for our own, musical practice, which is the concept of like building things in, because we're just a duo, so the sort of limited things that we can do when performing live. We sing, we make a lot of use of harmonic variety and textural variety in our vocals, and then Will plays the piano, the ukulele, and I play the steel pan. So there's kind of only so much you can layer. There's kind of like 4 things tops that we can have going at any point in a live performance. But with our recordings, this is a wider thing that we'll probably get into in another video at some point, which is like how you absorb music, like whether it's live or recorded, and like how much you think those things should be really similar. Like, are artists misrepresenting themselves by having a very different recorded sound to a very live? Anyway, again, that's a big conversation, but like
stuff there.
But yeah, I think something I really enjoy about that song in particular is like the amount of layers of stuff.
Yeah, and it's demonstrated nowhere better than in that kind of middle 8 breakdown.
Yeah,
just
totally.
like having those long extended chords. Bow, bow. And the drum pairs right down. You've just got
Yeah.
Like those kind of like fills in there, and it builds to this fantastic kind of climax, and then you just got this fantastic sax solo as well. Yeah, no, I think it's great. So,
That's excellent.
What is your first track, Rosie?
Okay, so when we were choosing to do this, we were like, let's do one folky sort of track and then one non-folky track. So I'm gonna go with my folky track first. I think.
Absolutely.
So it is a song by Coop Boys and Simpson, who were incredible performing trio vocalists. And there's a game that we often play when we're in the car when we're driving to gigs or driving places and we're listening to music. We'll try and like find extra harmonies to sing that like aren't being utilized in the arrangement of whatever we're listening to.
It's good practice to just kind of like try and put your own harmony in there, like, you know, write something complimentary.
Totally. So that's like a fun extra game, and sometimes you can start throwing in really weird, silly harmonies and they kind of work and sometimes they kind of don't. It's a real challenge to do with Coop Boys and Simpson because even though there's just 3 of them and not 4, which is kind of like how you'd fill out a lot of other chords, you know, sort of with harmony singing, somehow with only 3 of them, they managed to just have like everything covered, and they're just like, there's no improving upon what they're doing already in the music. So we do quite a lot of arrangements that we learned from their singing initially, just because we love their material, we love the way they arrange things, and just like a lot of it's very sad and very meaningful and poignant. And the one that I've chosen today is sad and meaningful and poignant. It's called Broken Hearted Among the Pines, which it's sort of a song within a song, which is another thing that they do incredibly well, where they kind of flow in and out of like 2 different songs. So this one's based on a traditional song called In the Pines, which has been done by lots and lots and lots of different artists, including Kurt Cobain and Nirvana did a version of it on a television performance, I think.
Yeah, it was like their famous Unplugged performance, which I don't know too much about, but I know it was a really iconic performance.
Yeah, so they did a version of it. And then, so this Coop Boys and Simpson version is about the death of Kurt Cobain and sort of, you know, how it's just this incredibly sad situation. And they just kind of, the way that they weave the traditional song with this new song that they've written together is just incredible to me, because partly because they fit so well together, but also because they're in 2 different time signatures, which is another thing that I love, and like something that I really would like to bring out a bit more in our own work. But yeah, so I'll stop talking about it now and you can just listen to it. But yeah, this is Broken Hearted Among the Pines by Coop Boys and Simpson.
Just like the gold rush, deep in the darkest mine, they struck a rich seam, impossible to refine. They made an icon, but the star then ceased to shine. And now he's lying low down among the pines.
I can feel entire goosebumps, and I can see them on your legs as well.
His every movement, seen as though he was divine. But now he's dissipated, never to recombine.
It's really tricky because I want to talk about some of the things I like about this track, but I also just want to listen to it.
Yeah.
So, despite the fact that there's only 3 of them, Coop Boys and Simpson make fantastic use of, they're not always singing everything they can be, they're not always all singing something different. They make really good use of just like open 5th chords, which are really like strong, really solid, and then suddenly they break out into this like full harmony, and it's lovely.
Broken hearted among the pines. That girl, don't you lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through. Her husband was a balladeer, 5,000 miles from here.
That's splitting apart.
He left his body on that cold, cold floor.
Like
One of
that,
them's
that
just
spread
started
it.
the whole time.
It's such a lovely technique.
And then back
Oh me, how cruel can this life be? Funny how they build you up and then they bring you down. Not free with all this purgatory. Another frantic phone call from another distant town. That girl, where will you go? I'm going where the cold wind blows. In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine. I would shiver the whole night through, like the gold rush, deep in the
They
darkest
do some really great things with
They
suspensions in this as well. Like, they don't all move at the same time. They kind of go, then you move, and then you go.
They made a icon,
Bass, yeah.
but the star then ceased to shine. And now he's lying low down among the pines.
There are times, especially near the end of that, where like I can't quite pick it out, but I honestly wonder if like they've like layered up some of their voices, where they've done like
someone.
it sounds
really,
almost like
really
there's
low.
there's more than 3 of them.
Yeah,
And it could be that they've just like recorded like a couple of lines each and sort of double things up. But,
Yeah. Which is such a great technique to make use of. Like, there's made a songbook, and we've got learning tracks where we sing all the parts so that people can listen to them and learn them. And there's something about
subtle plug.
Yeah. And there's something about being able to hear like your own voice like double tracked again and again, because like your voice blends with your voice so well, you know, and it's just like smooth and lovely. And like this is something I find with Coop Boys and Simpson all the time. They do tend to stick with like one of them will lead, one of them will bass, one of them will high harmony, because that's where their voices are. But like they blend so flawlessly that I'm just kind of like, just like I don't have much intelligent to say about it. I'm just like, oh, it's good. It makes my whole scalp prickle and just like, when I'm listening to it. It's so good.
It's very, very good. Okay.
All right, should we do your next song?
Yeah, absolutely. So, when Rosie and I were planning this video, like you said, the concept was, we'll maybe pick like one song which is a little bit more kind of traditional, a bit more sort of folky sounding, and another song that's a bit kind of different and things like that. And I almost entirely ignored that.
That's true. I realised I was saying it, and I was like, neither of yours are that folky, but that's okay.
So, Gossip is a disco track, sort of, funk influences, disco very much. The other one is like, it's not really folky, but this is my folky of the two. It is a song by a band called The Blasting Company, who are very good, and I mostly know them because they were the band who wrote and performed most of the music for a show that we really, really love, that was a short, limited edition cartoon series from Cartoon Network a few years ago called Over the Garden Wall, which is a little 10-episode limited series, just 10-minute long episodes. So the whole series is shorter than a film, and we watch it annually. We watch it every autumn time because it's kind of set in the autumn and the winter, and the atmosphere of the whole show is just this fantastic kind of American Gothic style. It's very kind of grim fairy tales kind of atmosphere, and it's very kind of in that setting, and sort of, yeah, it's very, very good. I can't recommend the show highly enough, and it has fantastic music the whole way through. It has Elijah Wood voices the main character, and we in fact do one of the songs we perform as duo is taken from that show and things like that. So the band who did all the music are called the Blasting Company, and I was very, very excited. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if they are a band beside the show
that go out and perform and stuff. I don't really know.
I'm not entirely sure. It might just be that they were the musicians from the show and that was what they called themselves under that guise. But a fact that lends kind of credence to the idea that they do exist outside of that is they released another album. Pretty much the only album I could find of theirs was kind of the music from the show, and then not too long ago they released another album which I was very excited about. So I got a whole new album of Blasting Company music, and I was having a really good time reading through the lyrics to a bunch of the songs. I listened to most of my new music like in the car or walking places, and yeah, so I actually just want to read the lyrics of this song before we listen to it. So it's a song by theirs called Search Party. Yeah, I feel like the lyrics themselves are very lovely, and I read them feeling like they were very harrowing, and the story that they're describing really kind of gave me this, sense of dread and things like that. So anyway, so the lyrics, Search Party by the Blasting Company. Gather round, buddy up, grab some batteries, the moon is dim, the clouds are low, and chances of finding anyone are slim to none. Ask yourself, where would you hide if you were hunted down and terrorized by shadows that you know are watching, waiting, praying? Say your prayers and hope you make it. And I walk into the night, and I walk into the night. Oh, I hope somebody finds you, but not me. I walk into the night, I walk into the night, I hope somebody finds you, but not me. Flashlights are spiraling, sleep in the underbrush, fear of the darkness cuts right through all of us. And I walk into the night, I walk into the night, oh, I hope somebody finds you, but not me. And the chorus repeats a few times at the end. And I read through that, and I thought that was so beautiful and so kind of such a dark subject matter.
It's very evocative as well.
Really evocative, and obviously it's slightly open to interpretation, but with the title Search Party, obviously that it really does make me think of this someone has gone missing, and it's when you're searching for someone in the dark, and you're gathering up a crew of people, and it's that kind of the light is dim, chances of finding anyone are slim to none. It's like you never do that when it's a good situation.
Yeah, no.
This is someone is injured, someone is dead, someone is dying, someone has been murdered, something horrible has happened. And that line in the chorus, oh, I hope somebody finds you, but not me. That's so raw, that's so evocative, that's so kind of, this is such a horrible job that we need to do, and we need for it to succeed. But I really hope that responsibility doesn't land on me, because it is a burden, and it's hard, and it's so upsetting of a situation. And then I read through these lyrics, and I thought they're absolutely fantastic. And I'm tempted to just play the track and not say more about it, but I will say slightly more about it. And then I re-listened to the track afterwards, and suddenly I thought there was such tonal dissonance, because the track itself is really quite kind of happy and upbeat and kind of really sort of just almost a jolly sounding song, and I thought that was so weird. There was this kind of, like I say, that sort of tonal dissonance. So anyway, so this is Search Party by the Blasting Company, and you can listen out for some of those lyrics that I've read through.
90s TV show theme or something.
It's Octopus's Garden by the Beatles. Like, it's... And it was like... It was so weird when I listened to that. It's so silly sounding.
Yeah, it's honestly giving me like Halloween special, like of an 80s like TV show kind of sitcom. Spooky, not spooky.
Kind of. You know, it's almost like kind of, yeah, it's sort of an episode of Scooby-Doo almost. And like, it's a good track. I like this track. Like, it's upbeat, it's dancey, but I had such, like, brain kind of gears sort of locking when I read through the lyrics and then listened to the song. One of the things I like about the Blasting Company as well, as a band, is that all of their music sounds so different. They have such variation just within one album, let alone kind of, you know, different albums. The different tracks within the same album, there's such difference in sound. And I wonder how much that possibly comes from. Yeah, I wonder potentially how much that comes from the fact that it's like, I don't know if they were music for the show before they were a band. You know what I mean? So it's the fact that they're needing to do music for a show that needs to be like really varied. So like, I don't know. That's just kind of...
That's really interesting because as you say that, I realised that like me sort of talking about how it feels like a TV theme to me in a way because like that is what we know them for. Maybe in this format, in this group of people, that's what they come together and have made is music for television.
Well, yes, but they do like very atmospheric music.
Absolutely, and like that is in no way meant to be disparaging. That's not to be like, oh, music for television, because like that's really hard and like really good a lot of the time. But like, I wonder if that's why I'm getting that sort of vibe from it. Like,
hard to say. Good
song, you know, but as you say, how often do you read the lyrics for songs before you listen to them?
Well, it's kind of both. I didn't deliberately read the lyrics to this song before I listened to it. What I actually did is when I first found the album, I was driving somewhere. I had a long drive, so I thought this is the perfect opportunity to listen to the whole album. So what I did was I listened to the full album first, start to finish. Really enjoyed the music, you know, and there were certain tracks that I was that's really good that I wanted to go back to. So there were one or two tracks that I thought that's really good, and I sort of mentally sort of, you know, bookmarked them.
Yeah.
And later on, I was kind of looking through the lyrics and really kind of like reading what they were saying because in some of the tracks I couldn't quite catch every word. And then when I was reading some of the lyrics, I was reading pretty much all the lyrics.
Right.
And I remember reading the lyrics to that one and going, oh God, wow, that's so harrowing. Like, I don't really remember that track, but like, I really want to go and re-listen to that one now.
Yeah.
And I re-listened to that one and was like,
and
what?
And then you were like, tonal dissonance. Like...
But yeah, Blasting Company, that second album is called For Hire. But yes, I do recommend the Blasting Company. They're very good. So, what is your final track?
My final track. So this one is, I have a tendency with music, but with all kinds of media, with books, with films, with video games, with all sorts of things, to find something I like and then obsessively listen or read or watch it again and again and again and again and again, and just kind of like really wring every like last little drop of enjoyment out of it.
Like Over the Garden Wall every year.
Yeah. Hey, that's not just me. But yes, so this next song, I mean, all the songs on this list actually, apart from Search Party, I'm not as familiar with that one, but all of the other ones I've listened to a lot. And this next one is a song called Nothing from Nothing by Billy Preston, and it's a sort of soul funk kind of song. Came out in the late 60s, and my first introduction to it was from some Eddie Murphy stand-up where he's sort of using it as like an anecdote about his dad and how his dad changes the lyrics of like old soul songs to like make a point in an argument with his
he
mum.
doesn't know them.
Yeah, he just kind of messes them up, and it was just so like so we've been like making that joke to each other forever of like about this song of like the sort of fake silly lyrics, but we'd not actually heard the song for a really long time, and then like I heard it for the first time, I think, sometime last year, and I was just like, oh my god, this is a bop. Like, this is such a great song. So, like, it just, made me laugh that for so long I'd not even heard it, but then I was just like, it itself is so wonderful. First thing I'm going to draw attention to before we start playing it so I don't talk over it is I love a song that has, like I was speaking about with Gossip, ending properly. I love a song that starts with a bang and kind of starts with a little intro or a little something that kind of sets the table, and then the song sort of starts properly. And this one kind of does it twice. Like, it's got two little starting bits. So, like, I kind of love that even more about it. But the other thing that I just really want to draw attention to in this is the piano playing, because that's Billy Preston playing the piano. He's self-taught, and it's just really incredible. It's got all these really fun, like, I don't really know how to describe them, but like little rolly kind of doodle-doo sort of things going on in it. I don't know what you'd, as a pianist, I don't know if there's a proper word for that, but yeah, so I'm going to play it anyway because it's just such a great song. So, Nothing from Nothing by Billy Preston.
It's the layering.
Yeah.
Really good layering.
In the war on poverty,
It's just so funky, like it just slides right along, and then this excellent piano solo. Celebrate an instrument in a way that's like, it's not obvious. Like, if you're listening to this, the first thing, because it took a lot of listenings before I noticed the piano playing, it was like, oh yes, and like, it just makes me think of certain other songs where there's like, someone's like, you know what, the thing that's going to be like the real power and heart and the feature of this song is going to be this instrument that you wouldn't think of. I'll talk more about this after.
Like the drums in Gossip.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna fade out though. How do you end this?
Cowards, way.
Coward. Anyway.
Billy Preston, please respond.
It's just, so the intro, it first has that dun-la-la-ch, dun-la-la-ch, da-da-da-da-da-da. Ow! sure. Like, that's the first starting bit, and then it has the little piano, like, before it starts the song proper, and it's just so good. Yeah, piano's the real focus there, but there's also some songs that I love where, like, something much more subtle, like an instrument you wouldn't think of as the focus, becomes the focus. So, like, one that immediately sprang to mind when I was thinking about that was there's a version of what's that classical piece of music called where it's like bum, 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 you know the one I mean?
I do know the one you mean, but I think most people only know it from 2001: Space Odyssey.
Yeah, that's
but
just it's that. But there's a version of that done by Tito Puente and his orchestra, and it's just it's so incredible and there's so much going on. But the thing that's like the driving force and the heart behind it is the cowbell, and it's Tito Puente just playing absolute seven hells out of this cowbell, and it's just so good. It's so good. It's something I used to listen to all the time at my dad's house, and I was just like, cowbell! So yeah.
Tito Puente's 2001: Space Odyssey. Yeah. That's going to have to be on the next list.
Yeah, I was going to say, when we do this again, that might be, it's quite long though, it's like 12 minutes long or something, so you got to really like cowbell to get into it. Well, this was loads of fun. So thank you so much for joining us. You can come and find us in the various online places. Particularly, we have a Patreon. So if you'd like to come and support us there, we would really appreciate that. We've got a very wide range of fun stuff there, and you can support us from as little as £2 a month. But yes, thank you so much for joining us. This has been really fun. We'll see you later.
Catch you next time.
Bye.